Yo, yo, what up, everyone? So, today we're going to look at some credit card debt. Credit card debt is just so terrible for society, right? It's might not seem such a big deal to, be making minimum payments. You got that minimum payment illusion, and it's not really, too big of a problem. But the trouble is that goes on over time, and you end up just paying so much back. You're literally just working for the financial institutions at that point, right? Like, working for them, you're working for big brand labels and, maybe some travel agencies or something like that if you're traveling around. You're not even working for yourself anymore, really. It's crazy, but let's jump into it.
I started my debt payoff journey in July of 2025, so about 4 months ago. And when I started, we had about $89,000 in credit card debt due to a spending addiction and lots of mental health crises over the past 13 years of my life.
So there you have it. Due to a spending addiction and mental health issues, they've ended up snowballing this debt into a massive $89,000 worth. So really, mental health issues and credit cards are just a recipe for disaster. It's that whole doom spending thing too, right? You just keep spending, keep putting it on the credit card, and just don't worry about it. YOLO.
And I decided in July that we were going to get it all paid off so that we could buy a house. Here we are 4 months later, and I did the math today, and we've paid about $9,200 toward our credit card debt in the last 4 months. But our total has only come down $5,000. It's only.
That's crazy. So they've paid $9,200 in 4 months, and the credit card totals only come down $5,000. So, that must be what $4,000 of fees and interest and stuff, which is absolutely crazy. And once that balance starts compounding, it's very hard to get away from it. You really have to knuckle down in order to get on top of such a large amount of debt. And once again, you're not even working for yourself anymore. You're literally just working to fund the financial institutions at this point, all for that dopamine hit, and putting stuff on the plastic. And I don't know if you've ever noticed it before, but something I like to do is I like to just go to the shopping centre and just walk around and observe people. And something I've noticed is you can really see the dopamine hit on people when they buy things. You really notice it when they walk out of the shops with their new items they've purchased. And you can literally see that dopamine hit on their face, and the joy that they have. But then, that joy quickly wears off, and soon again, you're looking for that next dopamine hit, aren't you?
Come down $5,000, and I've only slipped up and used a credit card once, and it was for a couple $100s at that time. So I'm feeling a little bit defeated. I'm feeling a little bit down, but I know that a year from now I'm gonna do this math and we will be so much further along in this journey. So just gotta keep going.
So that must be an incredibly deflating thing to, knuckle down and pay off so much money on a credit card debt and, feel like you're almost getting nowhere with it. And this is the trouble too, right? You're literally trapped paying that thing off for years. So, in this case, they want to, start saving up for a deposit for a house, but, they've got to work for the next couple of years to pay off the credit card debt first. So it might seem like fun at the time to, just spend and chuck it all on the credit card, but, one day, you're going to want to make a change in your life, and, if that time comes and you actually want to start getting a house, you've got yourself in this hole, and it's going to take you a long time to get out of it. Let's have a look at someone else here.
Going to be a controversial take, but I'm just going to say it. I simply would rather be in credit card debt than not go out and enjoy my life. I would rather have credit card debt than literally be like, yeah, I paid off all my bills and I don't have any debt, but I also haven't, had any fun in the last 2.5 years because I was trying to pay it off.
So, this is the trouble with society too. We such fabricated consumers now, aren't we? Advertising's basically evolved into some kind of perfect psychological weapon against us, and it just convinces us that we need to spend money in order to have fun and enjoy ourselves. But at the end of the day, you don't need money to go out and enjoy yourself, right? I mean, what's wrong with like taking the car down to like the local national park and just going for a hike for the day or something like that, or take the car down to the beach and go for a walk along the beach and maybe go for a swim or something like that. Yeah, you don't have to spend money to have fun, but that's the way society's gone these days, And if you're not spending money, then somehow you're not having fun. It's just such an illogical society we're living in these days.
I'm speaking from a position of privilege because, like, I am lucky enough that I've had great jobs and I've been able to pay off my debt. And I only have a little bit of debt left. I paid off my car. But, like, even when I was paying off my car, even when I have to pay off my student loans, even when I have to pay off my credit cards, like, I'm not going to sacrifice fun to avoid, I don't know. But again, I don't really spend out of my means. But whenever people are like, yeah, I was like $30,000 in debt and I just didn't have fun for an entire year, I'm like, ooh, couldn't be me. Like, I'm so sorry, no.
Yeah, so it's got the student loans going on and the car payments going on, and then it's got the credit card debt also going on. It's just, with such a debt based society, and debt is just absolutely out of control. What's wrong with just, only spending the money that you actually have? If you can't afford it, then you don't need it at the end of the day, right? And also, I think the trouble with credit cards too, right, is you just whack it on that card and you swipe it, and you're not actually thinking about what you're spending. Whereas if you go to buy something for a couple of $100 and you actually have to take that couple of $100 out and count it up before you give it to the cashier, then it makes it far more, you know, realistic what you're actually doing. And I know myself, when I take a couple of $100 out my wallet to go and pay for something, I really think about, where that money is going, and do I actually even want to be spending this chunk of money on this thing? Yeah. So yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it no longer seems like we care about money anymore. It's just spend, 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 consume, consume, consume. You know, nothing better to do. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this little rant, and if you did, then smash the like button for us, eh? Cheers, legends.